Let's listen in.
The article we read discussed 10 key biblical verses about the sovereignty of God. It emphasized how God, by definition, is supreme and controls all things freely as per his divine counsel. It contrasts this sovereignty with the pagan gods of old, who were understood to be often inconsistent or limited.
The first verse mentioned was Ephesians 1:11, which talks about how believers becoming heirs with Christ was not an ad hoc event, but rather something that God had planned from eternity. The article also mentioned Romans 8:28, which emphasizes how God weaves everything for the good of his children.
The third verse from Matthew 10:29-31 expresses the idea that God is sovereign over even the most seemingly insignificant events. He cares for all creatures, no matter how small or unimportant they may seem. Similarly, Colossians 1:16-17 affirms Christ as the Lord of creation, the creator and sustainer of everything in the universe.
Isaiah 45:7-9 emphasizes that God's will and wise purposes are behind everything. It warns against challenging God's right to do his will in his way. Proverbs 16:33 points out that not only the carefully planned out things, but also seemingly random acts like casting lots are under God's providential rule.
The verse from Job 42, verse 2, highlights Job's humbling realization of God's sovereignty and his repentance for his previous harsh words. In Lamentations 3, verses 37-39, it's stated that just like in creation, God sovereignly speaks in orders in history and things happen.
Moving on to Acts 4:27-28, it shows believers affirming both God's sovereignty and human responsibility. The article also mentioned Ephesians 1:4, where it's mentioned that God chose believers from before the world was founded, indicating that God took the initiative to redeem believers from sin and death.
In summary, all these verses emphasize the omnipotence of God, his control over everything, big or small, visible or invisible, significant or insignificant. They show his divine plan for everyone and his command over both good and evil instances in life.
It really provides a perspective on not just the biblical view of God's sovereignty, but also on how believers interpret and find comfort in these verses. It shows us that faith comes with a deep trust in a higher power that has a plan for everyone.
That's it for today.